Review for The Walking Dead of the New Frontier Episode 3. Man is child resting to the death, forgetting to tell folks for the car spark, and enough baseball slides for a World Series now. One caveat before I begin due to some huge changes in the story. Either very particular sections are going to be shown here and that may not actually match well with what I'm saying, but it could only be considered a total story spoiler. If I did so, and of course graphics are going to be up first. Hey, this is a without Walking Dead game and has all the dark atmosphere and dreary wasteland chic look that you would expect, delivering it through their art stylistic, cel-shaded character design, and location built by folks with massive saturation deficiency, but that's really what helps these games. That gritty dirty no one can have sex because UTS looks to the entire world where stretching yourself on a garden rake probably means dying horribly from some unnamed infection, and regardless of any other issue. These titles have it in spades, and I have always actually really liked that look. Unfortunately, the fact is not always right. The world and of Undead Power Watchers, technically not much has actually changed between Episode 1 and 2, and actually I mean Season 1, Episode 1 and 2, when it comes to the engine here slides absolutely apparent to everyone who has ever seen a movie post the introduction of Technicolor that the underlying engine absolutely cannot cope anymore. Now I am not going to lie, sometimes I'll handle this better or worse. But New Frontier Episode 3 is absolutely on the short end of the dipping stick here, dropping to less than 13 frames per second, and an Nvidia 1080 at only 1080 resolution is completely unacceptable. At this point, and the drops are actually random, and second you are sitting pretty at 16 fps or higher fps, and the next is diving low and choppy and throwing fragmented frames all across. Your screen I just really don't get in this day, and people are freezing, running zoom on keyboards, LCDs inches how to get more from less somehow. Telltale's engines take more from more and do less, but as a package I love them. The characters and the color work, as I have said in past reviews for all these various titles, but in the immortal words of Jack Nicholson, this technology needs an anime sound easily. In voice I know that was one of the Kate's friends. True, she was so weird, always has made a smile, and his voice, as I remember something about it, pathing towards a little deeper that I have need to go this way, that what else is in the not a whole loss flashlights. And of course sound is up first here, and it's pretty good, and while nowhere near the level of energy that episodes 1 and 2 brought, you always know that when baseball bat meets head, the fully artist are somewhere in the studio covered it watermelon, see how smooth and just title a relative dirt and real look. Lack of gut layering in the environmental effects still bothers me, and while some special effects are used here and there to mimic what it would sound like if you just got hit by a zombie, Mike Tyson and Mike from Rocky's yelling at you, get up a lack of effects in location that would have a good deal of reverb and echo is either missing or barely there, and that's noticeable, and that brings us of course to music, and while filled to the gills with ambition fair, most of its sort of light electronic vibes that offer the blanket of environmental music. As you explore, there were actually a couple really cool moments here where a poignant part of the game's story played out and a bit more emotions was let through audibly. Then I feel episodes 1 and 2 had, it still does feel like it's one part just leaking of keyboard slow charts in one part, skipping your depressions maths, but overall it's so fixed and either due to the way the story plays out in its lower level of actions or just how it all worked out in the end, and the music gets a chance to pop up here a couple times and add to the theme and absolutely hypnotized, and I love its voice. So I have to say Granny where Nigris continues on his hobby, and I continue to think he does a magnification job without spoiling anything. Some others show up here that do a great job. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.